Imagine being able to increase your sales by up to 50%. Here are the tips and tricks we did to help you. Let's get started. I'm going to be showing you the strategies that we follow in order to help clients and sellers increase their sales by up to 50% in just a few weeks. These strategies have been tested out and they are going to give you a lot of great results. Now, with that being said, we obviously focus on Amazon in the Middle East. However, these strategies, you can employ them wherever you sell on Amazon. Also, you can use them in e-commerce stores if you're selling online, like on places like Instagram or any social media, because they work each and every time. Now, let me jump into the core strategy that we follow. But before I do so, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up on this video, and comment or leave a question in the comment section below. The strategy that we follow and that we've created as Amazon Sellers Society is called AES. Attract, educate, and sell. It works each and every time. Think about it. I'm gonna actually break it down for you so that you understand. First and foremost, it starts with attract. Now, if you are an Amazon seller, attracting a customer starts off with getting them to see your product on the search result page. So, of course, you also need to make sure that your product is visible, meaning you are advertising it or it's ranked properly. So that's also very important because you can't attract something that people can't see. Now, with that being said, if you're doing this on social media, it's the same thing. You just need to attract. You just need to make sure that your posts are showing up, or maybe you want to be advertising. But how does this post or how does this product attract someone on Amazon? Well, definitely e-commerce, selling online is very visual. So it starts with creating an incredible main image. Now, if you know anything about Amazon, you know that there are a lot of rules and regulations to sell on the platform. But I think these rules and regulations, especially when it comes to the main image, are actually really good, but you just need to understand them. So the rules and regulations really pertain to the main image because it also helps you attract more customers if you follow these rules and regulations. So number one, the main image should really be, the product should be placed on a white background, a completely white background. Now, this is a great thing because it helps your product pop and it makes it much more visible on a cluttered website. Number two, it also needs to include only the product. So you can't add more things. So the image shouldn't really be cluttered. It should really focus and center on the product that you want to sell or the product that you want customers to be attracted to. Number three, and this is also very much similar to number two, the image should not contain any additional text, any additional props, any additional things. Also, Amazon sometimes tells you there shouldn't be even human beings in the image because it also detracts from what you're actually selling. So the image needs to be very clean, very clear, and customers, while they're scrolling on Amazon, need to understand immediately what you are selling. Now, if you're thinking, hold on, Crystal, this seems like the image is going to be really boring. It's going to look very generic like everyone else. No, these are the requirements from Amazon, but that doesn't mean that you can't be creative in the way that you are actually displaying your product and the way that you attract the customer. And additionally, you can use sometimes props if they are used correctly, meaning if they are used to further explain to the customer some key features about the product and how the product is used, or probably who the product is for. Now, there's so many ways that you can do, so many things that you can do in order to display the product differently. Remember, this is very important because this starts the whole process of attracting the customer. I would suggest that you don't rely on any graphic designer that you're working with because sometimes the graphic designers, they're not really sellers, they're just great designers. So what you would need to do is to just simply do your research. Check what your competitors are doing on the same platform that you're selling in. So in this case, if you're selling on Amazon, check on whatever Amazon marketplace you're selling in. What are your top competitors doing? Sometimes remember, if you are competing with really well-known brands, these really well-known brands sometimes don't really need to make an effort because they're a recognized brand. But if you are an Amazon native brand, if you are just selling on Amazon and you're not a well-known, recognized brand, you have to do much more effort than somebody else. Now, with that being said, you can also look on other Amazon marketplaces, on other websites. You can look online on Google and see what other sellers are doing in order to attract customers. Sometimes small changes in the image, the way the product is displayed, the angle of where the product is being shot from makes a huge difference to the main image. Remember, this starts the whole system and process of attracting the customer, because the number one thing that you want is to get that customer to click on your product page so that you can get them through your sales funnel. Moving on to step number 2 in our formula, which is educate. Now that you've attracted the client, again, whether you've attracted them on Amazon or you should attracted them on Instagram and you've got them into your website or your product page, now it's time to educate them. Now it's time to provide them so much information that they think your product is so awesome so that they move on to the final step, which is buying your product. Now, how do we educate the client? Remember, e-commerce in general is a very visual platform. And generally, people have become very visual. You're watching this YouTube video. I'm sure you would rather watch this YouTube video than read a book about what I'm talking about. So visuals are very important. You really need to focus on your images. But this is what, these are some strategies that you can do for your images that we have tried and tested, and they work every single time if done correctly. Number 1, in action or lifestyle image. Remember, selling online, you need to sell the product. And part of buying a product is somewhat related to the emotions, especially if you're buying everyday products. We're not selling, life and death situation products on Amazon. We're just selling everyday basic products. So it needs to be somewhat emotional, and the only way that you can make it emotional if you add some images of the product being used in action, lifestyle. Make sure that the images also feature maybe a whole family, depending on who your product is targeted to, or maybe just a single person, but make sure we can see their face, make sure they are always happy, always motivated, so somebody can feel good about using and purchasing your product. Number 2, the comparison image. Now, this is a tricky image, but you don't really need to use it for each and every product. When done correctly, it makes a huge difference. When done incorrectly, it becomes just a bunch of text. And remember, an image should remain an image. It shouldn't be just text, because customers, if they want to read, they will read the text. The image is to be visually appealing. So a comparison image is quite cool because it highlights and features some unique things about your product, and it shows your competition what they lack. Now, it doesn't have to be a real competitor. You can just create a competitor and just focus on and highlight the features that you have in your product so that you can tell the customer, well, guess what? My product has this and this and this. However, everyone else doesn't have these features. Again, make sure it's not full and heavy with text, because it's full and heavy with text, customers are not going to read it. This is supposed to be a visual image, so you need to be very careful in the way that you create this comparison image. And again, maybe it's not really required for every single product that you sell. Number 3, I call this the do not return image. Look, if you're selling a product that has some sizing issue, such as maybe clothing or even a tablecloth, it's very, very important that you educate the client about the size of the product, exactly how it's used, where it fits, so that they don't purchase the product and end up getting the wrong size for what they want. And then they're going to return the product. They're not going to be happy, and they might end up leaving you a negative review. So size is very important. Other elements in your product might be also very important. So think about the reasons as to why somebody would return your product, and create an image all about it. Now, it shouldn't be a scary image, but it should be an educational image to inform the client exactly the features of the product. Such as, if you're selling a really fitted t-shirt, make sure you add those features into the image. Also give some type of sizing chart. Anything and everything required so that you can reduce and eliminate possibly return. Now, finally, in the educate section of this formula, Obviously, images are very important, but the text is also very important. And on Amazon, you've got two places where you can add information that the customer can read. Now, that information, whatever you add, needs to be very similar to whatever you are highlighting in your images. So images come first, text comes next, but they need to be complementary. On Amazon, you've got two places, like I said, where you can add text. You've got your key features, which are supposed to be quick bullet points that customers can scan through to see the highlighted features of your product. And you've got your product description, which contains a lot of information. Now, if you are brand registered on Amazon, here comes the cool part. Instead of the product description, just a bunch of text, you can add even more images so that instead of adding text, you'll add text and images. This is very important because, again, Amazon and e-commerce in general are very visual in nature. And here comes the fun part. If you've attracted and educated, now you need to make sure that you end it with the sell part of the formula. How do you sell the product? Well, if the person was attracted and if they were well informed and educated, then it shouldn't be very hard to sell. But here you also have some strategies that you can follow. First and foremost, you need to know that customers rarely just find your product and immediately buy it. This impulse shopping is not as prevalent as we think it is. Statistics show that customers actually check your product up to 7 times before finally making the decision to purchase it. So within those 7 times of them checking, you need to remember that Amazon, unlike retail or e-commerce in general, unlike retail, is actually a dynamic pricing platform, which basically means you can always add coupon codes for a couple of days, discounts, deals, just to attract more customers or just to push them to purchase your product. So imagine a customer logs in the first day and they find your product, they really like it, but they don't purchase it. And then they log in the next day and they find your same exact product, they really like it, but now it's 5% discount. It's just 5%. They are willing to purchase the product more and they're more motivated because now they find that it's discounted. So those are the things that you can do in order to motivate people. I'm not saying that you should always discount, but try testing it out. And the second thing, which is very, very important, and I'm sure you know what I'm going to be talking about, and it's reviews. Reviews are the social proof needed to get customers to purchase your product. Look, things online are not the same anymore in 2023 coming into 2024. Customers really need to be motivated to purchase, and companies in general focus a lot on reviews nowadays. If you sell on your own platform, or if you want to work with a shipping company, or if you even want to go to a restaurant, you look at reviews. So it's very important that you focus on always getting good and positive reviews, because that's also essential to get that customer to buy. So now you know the AES formula. I hope this video was very helpful. Make sure that if you need any support with selling on Amazon, if you would like us to help you, you just need to simply reach out to us on our official website, www.assmiddleeast.org, where you can find out about all of our services and how you can work with us. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.